Hello everyone, my name is Bala Ravi. Uh, what you're seeing on my screen is the Milestone 1 report. The topic that I've chosen for my project is game-based learning, also known as gamification. So I've chosen to go with the research track for this project. So primarily my research track would have two activities. So one is survey questions. So I've put together a list of survey questions for basically my classmates to answer. So I've gotten like 15 responses so far, and I'm hoping to get more in the next week or two. So the next type of research that I plan to do, or I'm currently doing, is to explore more of the literature related to game-based learning that's out there. So I'll be using the conclusions or the findings from those researches in my final project. Um, so let me first go over what I'll be covering today. So initially, I'll go over a little background about game-based learning. Next, I'll show you my proposal. So what I've proposed like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago to my mentor, and then I'll go over the task list that I'm currently going over. So far, I'm in schedule, but I'll go over the list so you can also see. Um, Next thing I'll go over is the scholarly references or literature that I've found so far that are relevant, and then I'll go over the survey questions one by one, and then I'm hoping to get some feedback from the survey questions if you have any. And next, I'll be going over the preliminary analysis of the data. Like I said, I had 15 responses to the survey, so I've done some preliminary analysis on those. So I'll also be open to get feedback on those if possible. And then I'll go over uh, who my potential survey recruits could be. So far, it is just participants of the CS 6460 course. Um, but ideally, I would like some high school students or someone in the Z generation to take my survey because I feel like technology use in the next generation is more crucial than our generation or the previous generation. And after that, I will go over the current status of my project and then the next steps. So let's get started. So again, this is my project. I'll be doing the research track, and the background. used. It was just a traditional classroom. The results found that they scored, or like they found that higher scores were scored by students who participated in game-based learning um, control group. So, so that was the result. And the next thing that I wanted to cover is um, what I've proposed to work on. So, again, this is my thesis statement. The acceptance of game-based learning methodologies in educational system is very low, and that's what I would like to explore in my project. And then what I'm trying to do is first I want to validate if this statement is true or not. If it's proven that this statement is valid and game-based learning is not used much in educational environment, then my next study or the survey is targeted to find or analyze what can be done or what is the current status of game-based learning. So is it something that students will be willing to incorporate in their educational needs? Um, so those sort of things. So I would gather data, analyze it, and then report my findings, and then also conclude on what can be done to improve game-based learning in an educational environment. So for this, for the survey data that I collect, I'll be focusing on both qualitative and quantitative data. So by quantitative, I mean like something with numbers. So things like age, gender, race, and stuff like that, I'm going to include numbers for it in terms of like the percentage of um, like specific age groups that participated in my study, percentage of genders, and percentage of different races and stuff like that. For qualitative, I'm more focused on like free response kind of questions, where I'm hoping the participants would answer some kind of like game-based learning related questions. So when I go over the survey, this will be more clear because I've focused on partially um, like number-based questions, which would fall under quantitative, and then I've also partially focused on qualitative questions, which would focus on the free response answers that they give. So when I was thinking of this project, or when I was working on it, um, so some of the weaknesses that I've found in most of the studies or literature that are out there is that the sample size for the data that they've reported is very low, usually less than 50. ideas, which is basically survey questions. And then I've not gotten too much feedback from students or classmates yet, but I'm hoping to get more this week so that I can incorporate those feedback into my survey. I've completed my weekly report for last week, and then so this is week 7 again. So again, I've gotten feedback from my mentor on a few things already, um, and there was not a need for me to fix the proposal because most of them was approved by my mentor. And for this week, I've also found 10 scholarly literature to use for my project. And again, I found 20 total scholarly literature, but I had to like exclude 5 in my milestone 1 report that I'll be turning in, mostly because I didn't see them relevant or I found the data to be redundant to some of the things that I already included. So I'll quickly go over that. So here I have like 15 scholarly literature that I've found. And again, I had 20 and I've shortlisted them because I didn't see the 5 relevant for my case. Okay, so that covers, I guess, task list. So again, the task list for this week is work on intermediate milestone, which I've done, and then create a template for a survey. Actually, the template is created, even the questions are almost finalized. I'm just looking for feedback from mentor and students. I've also posted or published the survey in peer survey, and I've gotten 15 responses. So that's my current status on that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to go over is the actual survey questions. Okay, so again, this is my outside or non-Georgia Tech student link, and this is my um, inside Georgia Tech student link. I'll be creating a Piazza post for this so I can post these links and hopefully if you could ask your friends or if you have somebody that you know that who are still in high school, if they can take these surveys, that would be great. And thanks in advance for that. Okay, so now let me go over the questions that my game-based learning would be asking. So basically, game-based learning is a concept that is known by a lot of them, but we shy away from applying this in education because game is always seen as something that's distracting or something that is done for recreational purposes. And education is seen something as strict and something to be super focused um, and, um, and so basically you have to be super focused and listen to teachers and things like that. So what I'm trying to get to is like game is seen as something distracting while education is seen as something serious. So when trying to merge the both, there seems to be some kind of lack of acceptance among teachers or sometimes students. Definitely not the younger generation students. I would say like the older generation students think games and education is not appropriate to some extent. Okay, so my survey questions are first I technology is used in education currently. And as far as what I think is um, technology could be used more than what we are seeing currently, which is the case here. Game-based learning is not being used, which is a tech that could be explored more, which is the whole basis of this project. Again, a few more questions. Do we have equal educational access overall? Um, so I'll leave it up to you guys to answer that. And do we think that technology and education, um, we could make better use of it? Which I think yes. And do we think game-based learning should use electronic devices? So the fact of game-based learning, it could be through devices or technology, or it could be like a normal board game, and you can learn from it. So what I'm asking here is like, should game-based learning have some kind of electronic devices like mobile phones or iPads involved or not? And then later on, I ask if you would rather learn programming using Code Combat, which is like a game-based coding platform, or would you prefer learning it from YouTube? And some of the suggestions to improve educational access in underdeveloped countries. So I kind of feel like there's a barrier, um, and things are not equal between different countries, and what can be done to improve that status. Um, and is it fair for some countries to have better technology than the others? And is there something that the rich countries could do to help equalize or provide fair share to the underdeveloped countries? And in terms of game-based learning, will something like a leadership board or like a scoreboard help motivate students? And this question is asking for should students be allowed to interact via game-based learning to imitate collaboration similar to classroom environment? So basically, say we're playing a game to learn something, and then there are other students also playing. Should they all interact within the game to kind of like simulate this collaboration in a classroom environment? And then any additional feedback goes here. So this is my survey overall, and these are the results that I've gotten so far. So as you can see, I've gotten 15 responses, and here are the responses to the questions. So I've only done like a preliminary analysis on the data so far, so I'll show you here. So this is what I've gathered so far. I feel like there could be more gathered from the data that I've gotten so far, and also in the next 2 weeks, as more participants begin to take my survey, I'll have better analysis. And also, I'm looking for feedback from students that are watching this and my mentor in terms of what I can do better on the survey, or like in terms of even analysis if you have any suggestions. Okay, so here's the age distribution. Nothing too fancy there. Mostly OMSCS students. So yeah, out of the 15, mostly people are within the age of 30 to 39, and um, most of them are males. As far as the 15 participants that took the survey, and most of them are Asians and white. And again, for something like this, the minority group is not very well represented by my survey, which is not great because I wanted to specifically, not specifically, but I was looking for more responses from the minority groups like Native Americans, African Americans, and um, I think opinion of different groups, especially minority groups, makes a big difference. And then who plays these games? So, or who plays games in general? Most of them do, or most of my participants do. education, um, strongly agree and agree was over 90%. So everyone thinks that education could use more use of tech. So, and then most of them believe game-based learning should use electronic devices such as mobile or some kind of laptops or iPads. That's 93%. And in terms of learning to code, people prefer code combat as opposed to YouTube, which is also good to know. So this is again my preliminary analysis, nothing fancy here. I'm looking for feedback from students and mentor to improve this. Okay, let's see. Um, so I've so I'm looking for feedback, like I mentioned, and then if you have any suggestions for like survey recruits, like participants for my survey, please let me know. I'm open for ideas or open to ideas. Um, and then let me quickly go over the current status. So currently, as I mentioned, I have 15 responses. I'm looking forward to more data being collected in the next week or two. And then I'm willing, if I get any valuable feedback in terms of the questions that I've listed on my survey, and if I need to make any changes there, I'm willing to take feedback there and make the changes. For my next steps, I plan to collect or research more literature to be used for my final project. So I've shared like 15 resources here. I plan to at least collect like 15 to 20 more that are relevant to my project and that could support my paper. And then I'm hoping to collect more data from the survey, like I mentioned. And I'm looking for more ideas to analyze or virtualize it. If anyone has any suggestions for that, please let me know. Um, and I've started writing this paper, but I'm hoping to have like a rough draft ready by Milestone 2, which is in the next 2 weeks. So I'm trying to, I guess, get